Ladies and gentlemen out there in this world, in the USA, wherever you're from, leave food out of politics. Food don't need to be in politics. For real, bro. Let me have my glizzy with a ketchup. Let me have my pizza, 2 cheese, 1 pep. Let me have that.
Yo, facts.
Since we're talking about sports, your boy Phil Jackson. I don't know if you guys heard his comment that he said, but it had to do with politics being in the NBA, and this is why he stopped watching the NBA.
You mean the former New York Knicks?
The former, yes, Phil Jackson, the Lakers head coach, the Chicago Bulls head coach. That guy, that's who I'm talking about. He was with his family and decided to make jokes and laugh about the jerseys during the bubble time, how they used to have All Lives Matter, all this. He used to make fun with his grandkids and say, oh, look, All Lives Matter just hit a jumper. Oh, look, woke just hit this. Like, he would say these jokes to his family members and stuff and say, this is why I don't watch basketball. And I found it odd. Two things.
I don't know. It just sounds racist to me.
2 things. 1, should politics stay out of sports? And 2, why does he feel comfortable to say this knowing that he made millions off the back of black people or people that are not white? So you're there to make money with them, but when it comes down to support and help get the message across to bring light, now you want to say you can't support it. I think that man, I don't know, lost in his own sauce, but
I love when Jimmy Butler won the last game. This guy posted, he said, I wish Phil Jackson could see this because he doesn't watch basketball anymore.
I love that. That's fire. I didn't see that. That's fire.
It was really good. I was like, oh, this is good.
That he wishes Phil Jackson saw what?
I think it was one of the games for the Heat games where Jimmy Butler was going crazy
against the Bucks.
And then after the game, the guy posted, he's like, man, I wish Phil Jackson could see this because Phil Jackson says he doesn't watch NBA anymore. So it was funny.
Yeah. My point of view, and it may be controversial, but my point of view is that everything is political.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that isn't political, in my opinion. And so when you see certain players like LeBron James go out of his way to not dip a toe in anything politics related, that is a political statement. To me, that reads as he enjoys his position so much he's not willing to risk any of it to make a statement in hopes of making a difference or anything like that. He doesn't care enough. So to me, that is a political statement. I dislike LeBron James for that aspect. Like, I would like him more if he made political stances and things like that. So, like, to me, his silence is a political statement. And also there was the whole China thing where some players are coming out in support of Hong Kong. And he was like, all right, guys, let's cool it with the Hong Kong support. So he was quick to try to shut people down with the Hong Kong stuff.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? He knows where his dollars are coming from. And he's doing the shut up and dribble kind of mentality. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
He was against that too, though. When she said that, he outspoke on that.
He was against what?
When that reporter or that news lady said, yo, just shut up and play basketball. It was a whole thing that he was like, yo, like, this is deeper than basketball. And he was against that statement. He was, I don't. So
I think he was just
doing
virtue signaling because
He's
he's against that, and then he was against all these people, or he wasn't willing to participate alongside the people that were making protests and things like that. I don't know. It just feels lame coming from the most popular player in the NBA. You know.
Super. I don't know. There was something like, I don't know, like something that I enjoy about like Muhammad Ali was that like he's a big talker. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I mean, he was political as hell. He went to jail because he didn't participate in the draft, right? Like he refused to go and serve.
Yeah. And it
Did
could benefit.
he got arrested, right, Booch? I'm actually now rethinking, like, did he actually get arrested? Did he do jail time? I don't
I
remember.
don't know if he.
I just know he was like stripped of his title and he wasn't allowed to compete for a few years, right?
Yeah, he was stripped of his title. He was basically banned like in every single state,
Mhm.
like his boxing license. And he might have gotten arrested, but I think he got out and he went to trial and it was like a whole thing. And it was many years late. Like he basically missed out on his prime years. Like the prime of his career was sat out because he refused to go and fight in Vietnam.
Yep.
I don't know. It says here that LeBron James is an um, active support and for people to speak out against politics, set by a group called More Than a Vote. The group dedicated to mobilizing African American voters and to be fighting against voter suppression. So I mean, I don't know how much LeBron James probably doesn't speak out, I guess, and during NBA, but off the court he does.
Yeah, no, off the court, he's involved with like like voter turnout and things like that, which is cool. I'm just saying that like it just feels weird when all of your peers in the NBA are making these political stances and you're completely silent. To me, that speaks volumes. Like it's something about that. It says something. And then when people were kind of like trashing China over the Hong Kong situation, I remember him coming out kind of like saying, "Hey guys, let's not shit talk China here," effectively. And there's a lot of Chinese dollars in the NBA.
You've never seen the guy from what's this guy? You Can't See Me?
John Cena.
John Cena. He by mistake named Taiwan, like as he said Taiwan and something like that. And bro, he spoke perfect Mandarin and apologized. This shit was wild. I was like, I didn't even know he could speak Mandarin. But he was begging them in Mandarin to apologize. I forgive me for even mentioning them as a state. I was like, oh shit. The grip that China has through like media and stuff like that, it's crazy. Wild.
But I mean, you're on mute, Mateo.
I wouldn't say it's a grip they necessarily have, but like the loss of the dollars that you can get in the Chinese market by not towing like their talking points, it's something that a lot of people could consider, especially when you're like a super like a movie star like John Cena now, right? Because he's more of a movie star than anything else. If you know that some statements you make are going to make your film get banned in China, you know, it cuts down on the amount of money you're going to make from that. But I'm not saying it's the right way to approach things, but I get why they have stances like that, you know?
So Pucho's definitely in house with political things in sports, I'm assuming.
I'm in house.
Like you're with the group, like saying like, yeah, I think political issues should be in sports.
Kaepernick did nothing wrong. Yeah, I'm in that camp.
Same.
And
I'm in that camp as well.
now with the Colin Kaepernick thing, that was definitely I didn't see nothing wrong with it. A lot of people did, or still do to this day. I think that if you're so blinded that you can't see that somebody is trying to just shine light on something, for someone to ask the question, oh, well, why are they doing this? Oh, for this reason? Then the real problem is you, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like if you're sitting there saying, why they got this woke this on the jerseys or save my name on the jerseys, if you don't want to understand that, then that's probably the reason why they do that. And I don't think
I've been thinking about this recently with like the Bud Light thing, right? Like
Light?
it is the Bud Light thing. People are boycotting Bud Light right now because they had a trans person as part of their marketing. People are real upset about it. Kid Rock in particular, he went and shot a bunch of beer cans and did all the crazy stuff that right-wing people do when they're boycotting something. When you buy more for the product to boycott, I don't understand. Whatever. That's an aside. But the Bud Light thing I've been thinking about a lot recently because Bud Light knows where the majority of their money comes from. There's a certain voting demographic that is more likely to drink Bud Light than other demographics, right? So if Bud Light is willing to go out onto the ledge like that and have like a trans like campaign, they have so many focus groups. There's so much that goes into how the companies like market their product and what groups they choose to support and what statements they choose to make. So if even Bud Light is thinking that like there's something to just acknowledging trans people and seeing them as a valid and, you know, starring them in a campaign, it's because the tides are turning. Like that is the general public's opinion about these kind of issues.
So it's not because they want to; it's because that's where the money's going.
Absolutely not. Same thing with any corporation, dude. Corporations don't actually care about the individual things. Like I'm sure there's people at the corporations that are pushing these kind of things that are like they actually do care about diversity and inclusion and all that. But corporations care about making money. That's the whole nature of capitalism. Corporations care about making money. So they're always going to go where they're going to have the most opportunity to make money.
My one of my favorite things is the Republicans going to Target, and then like a real manly man will be like, "Look at these clothes. You see how they got the rainbows on there?" And then the pizza, you don't know what the pizza means. It means that they're ready for sex. And all this clothes is, and I'm like, bro, you're sick. Like, you're thinking about all this shit. So you're actually the one putting this on everyone. And the French fries, you don't want to know what the French fries mean. I'm like, oh my God. They're like, I'll never shop at Target again. I don't know.
The fact that you put that back ass country voice is hilarious.
It is. It's a bunch of middle of America hicks.
I think I saw that exact video on Twitter the other day.
Yeah. You see all of this, the rainbow.
The pizza's my favorite.
Yeah.
Everybody loves pizza. Don't hate on the pizza.
Soda pop? You don't want to know what the soda pop means.
Don't let them hear you say you love pizza too.
Right?
Pizza's pizza. You ever heard of Pizzagate?
No, this is real?
Yeah, it's insane. It's
It's
one of the most
insane.
insane things in the world.
Basically, a bunch of people thought this. It had something to do with like these Democrat emails leaked, and they were talking about buying like 100 pizzas in one night or something absurd like that. And they were like, 100 pizzas? Who eats that many pizzas? So then they started looking through for all the hits of pizza, and they came up with the idea that, oh, the pizzas must mean children, and they're talking about purchasing children. And then they were like, oh, the place that this happens is, and they found some pizza place
In DC.
and in DC, and they were like, that's the place where this is happening. And they went in. Somebody went in there and killed somebody in there too, and everything. It was a big deal.
I forget if he actually killed someone. I know someone definitely went there with a gun. Like he wanted to see the basement of the pizza parlors, something like that. He wanted to see
thought
the
someone
secret
got
areas.
shot.
So basically,
maybe I'm
Someone might have.
they read all these emails. These emails were talking about hot dogs, hot dog buns, and they're like, these hot dogs are children. And they're like, I don't know how these are children, but these hot dogs are children. So basically, they're saying that hot dogs with ketchup is like a code name for something, or like pizza with
Wow.
pepperonis on it. Shit is a code name for something.
Ladies and gentlemen, out there in this world, in the USA, wherever you're from, leave food out of politics. Food don't need to be in politics. For real, bro. Let me have my glizzy with a ketchup. Let me have my pizza, 2 cheese, 1 pep. Let me have that.
Yo, facts.
You know what I mean?
I saw a thing the other day that is genius. They got these corn dogs, you know, those like frozen corn dogs you can buy,
Nice.
and they split them down the middle, and then they filled them with chili and they covered them in cheese. So it's a chili cheese corn dog, and it kind of sounds genius to me.
I'm always into like the frozen concoctions they're coming out with. I'm like, oh yeah, this doesn't really look like it could be made in the microwave, but let's do it.
Yeah, now, politics, there are some things politics can stay out of. The workplace, food.
Yeah, I don't
And
want to talk
bars.
to Mike. Yeah. I don't like talking politics at work. Then you start to I found out my coworker's an Andrew Tate lover. He's like, he's out of jail. And I'm like, oh, and he's like, yeah, brother. I'm like, ew. Yeah. Yeah, brother. And he's a New Yorker and he speaks like this. I'm like, there's a common denominator with you people.
Tony, you need a sarcastic clap sound effect. You need one that's just like crickets and then a single like guy trying to slow clap and nothing happening.
Just one guy.
That's crazy. Nah, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, back to the topic again because we're just off rails a lot. I don't know why
We're
there
not
is
that off rails. We're talking about politics and sports, and a tangent on that is politics in the workplace. I don't think we're off the rails. This is interesting. I think politics should be everywhere because it is everywhere.
I don't think so. You're bugging. You're gonna have a.
I'm bugging. I'm so crazy.
You're gonna have a politics conversation at work with your coworkers, and one's gonna get. Oh.
I'll have certain levels of political conversations with certain coworkers. There's some that I'm like, I could see this dude being a real right-wing Republican kind of dude. I don't think I'm going to talk about the border crisis with him.
Same. Even religion, I'm like, keep that shit out of my fucking job, all right? Keep the religion out of my job. I want no religious talks.
Should you base your conversation of political views or whatever based on the color of someone's skin or their nationality?
What does that even mean?
Like, should a brown man or Hispanic or a Mexican talk to a white guy at a bar about border crisis?
It depends.
Yeah,
I mean, should I mean, you do whatever you want, right? Like,
yeah, well,
like,
no, of course, yeah.
But like, it depends. Like, so here in Austin is a pretty liberal little city. I would be out of my mind if I just assumed every white person I saw was going to be a Republican, because that's probably not the breakdown given the city that I'm in. But if I was in some nowhere town in East Texas or something, right? I was in somewhere in East Texas, which leans more Republican, a lot more Republican than Austin. I would probably assume that the white people that I'm running into they lean Republican.
Yeah, I guess.
Like I would assume that the people in those cities that vote a little bit more liberal, a little bit more progressive, they're probably brown and black and some amount of white people. But I would guess that the vast majority of the voting bloc in those cities that vote Republican are probably mostly white people. I don't think it's a crazy assumption to make.
Crazy thing about New York is you go into Long Island, you go into upstate New York, it's all red territory.
Mm-hmm.
New York wins, with New York being like the biggest denominator, and then places like Albany and Buffalo, those go blue as well. But the rest of it is red. Everyone else is like Trump supporter.
People forget about that. There are a lot, like even in like the liberal states, there's a lot of red. There's a surprising amount of red. You get to places where the population density is less. People tend to vote more Republican.
Yep.
And Long Island. The Long Island people, they're what they would call an old school Rockefeller Republican. Yep. Whatever that means. They vote for Donald Trump. So.
Staten Island even went red this last time. Like Staten Island was even all red.
There's a lot of cops out in Staten Island, though. I feel like that's not
exactly.
surprising.
And it's where the mafia went. It's a bunch of mafioso Italians over there.
So, Pooja, you really think every job there should be politic conversations or political conversations should happen?
They should be allowed. What do you guys are
I'm
saying
not saying
that
no.
They should not be allowed. Well, no, you said keep the politics out of the workplace. That was your statement. I'm not saying that there should be a mandatory politics hour. I'm not making crazy claims like that. I'm just saying like you shouldn't shut people down for having a conversation. Like,
but I mean, usually, almost 9 times out of 10, religion and political views or any conversation of that sort ends in a very negative way.
I think
because we're not allowed to talk about it. You can't talk about it at Thanksgiving. You can't talk about it at work. You can't talk about it at school. It's like, where are you going to talk about this stuff? Nowhere. And then when it happens, people don't know how to talk about it.
People don't know how to handle it. It's so like
that's
too
problem.
much for them.
It's the handling part, I think. I don't think that's why people say, yo, let's not talk about it, because people
don't know how to talk about it, because people will say, oh, you like that guy? You're a racist.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hold up. Now somebody's a racist. Then right, it ain't just the handling. There's also the talking. People say a lot of wild stuff. Like, It's like, oh, you like Joe Biden? Oh, you must support.
They're your
Like,
pedophile.
you must
You're
support
pedophiles.
pedophilia.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. Like you know
Do
what
you
I mean?
like it when he touches those little girls on stage? When he caresses them and puts their hair
Damn.
through his hands?
Damn.
People say it. There's
Yeah.
videos like that all over YouTube.
I do think though that
Um,
people like yourself. I've seen you here. I've seen you said comments about it. Like I don't know if they're serious or joking, maybe, but you'll be like, "Oh, you support Trump?" Bueno, you hit me with a. Then I guess you're an advocate for all that stuff that's happening in the.
No, Trump said he would have sex with his daughter.
That's but
Jesus
see, in the
Christ.
example you're giving though, you're talking about actual policies put in place. You're not just making a wild claim like, oh, you vote Trump. Oh, that must mean that you want to kill all brown people in America or something.
No, yeah, no. I'm actually talking real shit. I'm not just saying some outlandish things. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're a Trump supporter, so you want to grab every girl by the Yahoo. Like, nah. I'm just saying, like,
The problem I have, the reason why I kind of avoid talking politics with a lot of just random people out of my life these days, is that even if you have specific policies and specific examples and things like that, people just don't believe them anymore. Like facts just don't matter. You can see an event happen and you can tell someone like, what do you think about that? Donald Trump just kicked that little girl on the ground. Like, well, did he really though? Or did like he help her, but he was kicking her out of the way? Like there's a retelling of events or a refusal to accept reality.
he kicked
And
her
that's
to save
frustrating.
her. He saved her life. Actually, you didn't see that.
It's the stuff you see with like Jordan Klepper when he goes on the street and they're like, oh man, they're like, he's like, so you're saying that if Trump did such and such, you would that would be the deal breaker. You would never vote for him. And be like, yeah, absolutely. Like if he did that, if he was breaking the law, I would never vote for him. He's like, well, you know that he did exactly what you're talking about. He gives like the receipts. They're like, yeah, that's fine. I'm still vote for him.
That's
people,
like
don't give people don't give a damn anymore, dude. They don't care.
There was a guy at the Republican rally, and he's like, they don't ever talk about this. I said, where was Obama during 9/11? I didn't see him. Where was he?
The guy was like, you're right. I didn't see Obama thing. And he's like, yeah, we really need to find out what he was doing. There should be an investigation into that. Like, you are sick in the head, my friend. For people who don't know, Obama was 7 years removed from being president. He wasn't even, nobody even knew who Obama was when 9/11 happened. It was 7 years before he became president. Like,
That's insane. I lost my train of thought. I was going to ask.
no, I think we should be allowed to talk about politics at work.
Yeah,
I think it's fine. I think as long anybody should have any conversation they want at work, as long as it's a healthy conversation. If people aren't having healthy conversation, you should contact HR and go through the proper channels of whatever. You know what I mean?
Contacting HR is good advice in general when you have issues at work. It's better than sending that email that blows up your entire career. Like it's better than having a screaming match with someone in like the break room or something.
why the hell you want to add HR into this? If you started conversations about political shit and then you want to call HR once your feelings get hurt, now you looking like a little, like, I don't know, Karen type vibes. Like we can't
Look
just
how you frame this. You're saying that the person in question started the conversation, and then it just boils down to their feelings got hurt. Do you think people only contact HR when their feelings get hurt?
most of the time, yeah, or something physically or
Right. Like, what if someone tried to put hands on you because of a political conversation?
yeah, that's different. Call HR for that, maybe. But if you're just having two conversations,
So how does
and
that?
you don't-
How does that disagree with what I said?
because it was just conversation, ain't nothing physical.
I'm
came
saying
about.
if you had a conversation, if you were having conversations with people, and something inappropriate occurs, contact HR just like everything else in the work.
But if it's-
that's what I'm saying. Treat that like anything else. The politics conversation doesn't change the nature.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
anything.
like if you were talking sports with someone and you started the conversation about sports, but in the middle of the conversation they called you a racial slur or something. Even though you started the conversation, you should still go to HR and be like, "Yo, this person called me a racial slur while we were having a nice normal sports discussion / disagreement."
I think you acting like a little jit at this point. Like if we're having another conversation, I'd be like, man, you support a bum ass team like Knicks, you a bum too. I'm contacting HR now because you called me
yeah,
a bum. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely
I mean,
against
that-
you. Get out of here.
Yeah, that would be goofy.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
You
There's
probably
goofy
also
level.
shouldn't be calling people bums at work.
Obviously,
It's
you're not a
just
bum.
like-
You got a job. We're getting paid almost the same. Obviously, you're not a bum. I'm just
That's
saying your
he's
team's a
gonna
bum,
tell.
you're
That's his
supporting bums.
excuse. Obviously, we're not bums.
Yo, fuck you, though, boy. But
Call
nah,
a woman in the workplace, you call them a whore. You whore. No, obviously she's not a whore. She's here. She works
very
here.
nice
She's
woman.
working here. No, she's not actually. It's like, what
obviously
kind
not a
of
whore.
defense is that?
that's crazy.
defense
No,
is
fuck
that?
out of here. Hey,
There are
This
ways to
nigga's a
be
psychopath,
inappropriate at work.
nah,
Yeah, you're crazy.
bro, y'all are psychos, dog. I'm just saying, let's not call HR for bitch ass shits, bro. Like, get the fuck out of
Where
here.
did I say? Where did I say? If you're talking politics and sports, and you act like a bitch ass motherfucker, then go ahead and contact HR. Where did I make that statement?
No, you didn't say those words exactly, but you said if you have a problem
Exactly.
with what somebody said, call HR. Fuck out of here. You're that sensitive. You want to go call HR because I said, yo, you support a bum ass team with your bum ass.
You're
it's
you're like grasping on this idea. You're like creating a conversation that you're actually not articulating with anyone. Anytime anybody has a problem with anyone at work, they should contact HR. That's just how life at work goes. So I'm saying if you're having a conversation about politics and you have a problem with what somebody said or how they treated you or anything like that, contact HR the same way you would if it was any other conversation. I'm saying treat the political conversation the same way you would treat another conversation. If you wouldn't contact HR for a regular conversation, you probably shouldn't contact HR for a political conversation if it went the same way. That's all I'm saying. Treat it like a regular conversation is my statement, is my stance. You're turning it into, oh, I like Trump. Oh, he likes Trump. I'm contacting HR. Like,
never said
why are you creating this nonsensical conversation in your head? Like,
Sorry, I'm just saying, there's no reason to be calling HR if it ain't serious. Like, let's just keep it at that. If it's just wordplay,
there's no reason to contact HR.
if it's just wordplay, no, bro. Like, well, all right, that's my feeling on it.
So you think you could verbally harass a woman and you shouldn't?
No.
get HR called on?
Yeah.
This is different. There's levels.
Wait, how's it different? You said as long as it's just wordplay. That's what I'm saying. Verbal harassment.
It's different. I'm not saying like her, like
Right.
I'm
How's it
telling the
different?
girl like, damn, you fine with your fat ass, with your thick lip.
Well, yeah, what's wrong with that? It's just verbal.
That's sexually.
It's
that's,
just wordplay.
No, that's crazy. All right.
Well, take all the sex out. Just keep inviting them out. Hey, I want to take you out to lunch. Oh, I think we'll have a good time. You'd really like it. I promise you. I'll show you a good time.
I'm
There's
simply
no sex
saying-
involved. There's a degree of doing that it's like, all right, you should probably call HR in this crease.
There's a degree of wordplay that should HR
Okay.
should be involved.
Okay,
sure.
perfect. Just that's a complete opposite stance that you had 2 minutes ago, but I'm cool with it.
I fixed
like
it.
that
I
stance.
adjusted.
I like it.
You're bringing me down with your waders on.
No, I'm
and stuff.
bringing you up. I'm bringing you up.
Yeah,
Doughboy's bringing me down.
John Taffer would only
Or
want to bring
back
someone
that
up.
crap again.
I've heard nothing but bad things about John Taffer. I've heard all the bars that he rescues are
Go
not
under.
rescued.
Yeah, they go under. Most of them go under.
That's not how the intro of his show speaks it, okay? You watch his show, they say otherwise. And he also says in front of everyone, I've rescued over 800 bars.
And how many of those?
He's world renowned, right?
World renowned. He only works with specialists and masters. Okay, tactical. That man will get a tactical homosexual to go into a nightclub and like tactically make it like he has tactical everyone.
He's got about a 50% rescue rate, according to this article.
All right.
Well, I mean, maybe that's not bad. I mean, some amount of business, small businesses fail within the first year, right? So, like, maybe it's not bad.
Yeah, maybe.